What's up guys, I'm Chris and today you're watching a magic review on Pokemonte by Michael O'Brien, presented by Deuce Gala. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Please consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment on any questions that you have about the product I'm reviewing or anything you'd like to see in the future. Let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to click that notification bell so you don't miss a video or a review. Don't forget to head over to Facebook and join the Chris Edwards Magic Secret Access group. That is a group that I have kind of based around this channel where I can interact with you guys on a more personal level. And I'm also going to be providing you with a more in-depth look on certain products such as Peak Wallets and other releases that I don't want to go into full detail to the public. So it's more hidden than what a layperson would be able to see. There'll be unlisted videos where I will post direct links within the group. So those unlisted videos can't be searched via anything, whether it's not visible on my channel for one to the public, and two, you won't be able to search those videos through the YouTube search engine or like Google or anything like that. So check that out, and in there I can answer questions in a lot more detail than I will on here. Let me just start off by saying, if you're a magician who performs for kids, has kids, or you were a kid at one time, then you need to get this. PokéMonte is a routine based on the Color Monte plot that ties in nostalgia, something that almost everybody knows and is familiar with. The routine itself is great. You know, the story that accompanies it, as well as the actual visuals, and then the kicker ending. There's actually kind of two kicker endings, because the one is unexpected. It's a card that nobody expects to see. And then on top of that, you have almost like a prediction of sorts that is decided by your participant. So basically you tell a story about when you were a kid and you met a professor, you were a Pokemon trainer, and you had your option of choosing your starter Pokemon. Now you go through the 3 starter Pokemon from the original game, either blue or red, and then ultimately after showing 3 cards of the same Pokemon and 3 different kind of phases, you get that kicker ending where in the end the card that you're left with is one that surprises everybody. And then additionally, there is a outcome that allows you to have predicted the energy card that your participant selects. So you have water, grass, and fire. Now the way that Michael presents this, if they choose fire, which so far I've performed this for a few people, and almost every time the outcome is the fire energy. And Michael has an amazing kicker ending with the fire card. However, you will always get the card right. So that's a really good ending. And then the routine itself, even without that additional kicker ending, is just phenomenal. So what do you get? You're going to get 4 standard Pokemon cards. So you have Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Pikachu. Now, I don't feel like I'm exposing anything. If you watch the trailer and watch the performance, which I highly recommend that you do, you're going to see all these cards anyway. And then you get the 3 energy cards. Now, oh, and also I do want to mention the packaging, because Deuce Gala has really gone above and beyond when it comes to packaging. And, you know, the packaging itself looks like it's very similar to the packaging that you would find if you went out and actually bought a pack of Pokemon cards. Now, with this, I would recommend actually going out and buying a pack of Pokemon cards and placing these cards inside an actual package, just for presentation purposes. The quality, so if you're familiar with Pokemon cards, which a lot of us are, even if you were older when this was the thing that was in, you're probably still familiar with them. You probably have kids or grandkids that collected Pokemon cards. I think in today's age, everybody is familiar with these, whether you collected them yourself or not. This was a huge thing in my generation. I don't know how old I was, but I used to collect these things all the time. I loved them. And even like 20 years later, my kids collect them and play with them. So, you know, it's still a thing, it's still relevant, and kids can identify with this. They know what it is. The cards are actual Pokemon cards. It's kind of a card stock. It's a thicker card for those who aren't familiar with them. Now, they're not on actual card stock like a bicycle card, but they're not supposed to be, because these are meant to look, if they aren't, actual replicas of the Pokemon cards. If that's the case, Michael bought a lot of Pokemon cards just to get all of these that you need. But anyway, the quality is really good. As far as like difficulty level, you're just using the Color Monte move, and you're performing a version of Color Monte. So even though these are just cardboard cards, they are going to last. Like, you're not doing any knuckle busting moves. It's all very, very easy to perform. And there's no moves in here that's going to really wear out the cards. And even if the cards do wear over time, there's no difficult slides to where that should render this not usable. So, I mean, unless you get these wet or rip them or really, really bend them out of shape, then you're going to be good. And you're carrying these, you know, all together, so chances are they're going to hold up for a long, long time. The quality on all of Deuce Gala's videos that I've seen so far, and I think I have everything, is absolutely phenomenal. Both picture quality, different angles, so you can see things kind of behind the scenes from your view and from the front. They go into presentations. Michael goes into his handling. He just covers everything, really. Like, I don't even know how to kind of go into all of it, because you're never left with any questions of what to do. And there's also, like, he provides a bunch of tips and advice, not only about the handling and the trick itself, but on presentation. And for those of you that don't know Michael, he's a worker, right? And he uses all of this stuff, and it shows, because everything that Deuce Gala has released so far can be done in a working set, and I think that's kind of what it's designed to be. So overall quality, both with the cards, the teaching, and the overall package that you're getting, is 2 thumbs up. Amazing. So again, just kind of wrapping up the difficulty level, extremely easy. This is something that a beginner could learn and perform. It'll take a little bit of practice, just because you want the handling to be good, right? But as far as moves go, very simple, very, very simple. And then steps, different steps in the different phases of the routine. Once you learn kind of the first step, it just kind of repeats. So it's all extremely easy to do, and it's almost self-working. I mean, you know, there is one move, but it's super easy to do. Angles on this is angle proof. You know, you can be surrounded. This can be done close up. It's going to be done close up. There's no angle that can't be seen. Setup and reset. There's just a very, very quick setup, and the reset takes about a second. You just have to move one card in the end. And it's easy to memorize the setup, because you're just setting up the 3 cards that you will show throughout the routine in front of the one that won't be seen until the end. And the setup with the 3 that you do see, it's alphabetically ordered by their name. So that's how I remember it. Makes it very, very easy. And then the additional kicker ending, if you perform that, there's a one-time setup, but really you're just placing cards in specific areas, so not really a setup. There is no arts and crafts. It's all ready to go. Once you learn it, go perform it. Can it be inspected? Absolutely. These are just regular cards. They're not gaff cards. Everything can be inspected and examined in the end. Pocket space, just throw this in your pocket. Hardly takes up anything. I mean, obviously length and width is a bit more. You're just standard size of cards, but as far as thickness goes, you know, you got 7 cards. So not much pocket space at all. You could throw this in a packet trick wallet, but like I said, I would recommend throwing it in a actual package of Pokemon cards, just because it's gonna look more authentic. Is it a worker, and who would use this? So like I mentioned with Deuce Gala stuff, everything is working material. This, I think, is one of the best releases. This is good for adults. This is good for kids. This is good for everybody, right? Because even if your participant is not familiar with Pokemon, it's still a great trick. But there's probably a 95% chance that they are going to be familiar with Pokemon, and probably directly familiar with Pokemon, as in they have experience with the cards themselves. So this can be performed at a close-up show, this can be performed at table hopping, this can be performed walk around, and it is absolutely perfect for that. You know, a lot of times when I'm performing walk around material at events, sometimes it can be challenging to find certain material that kind of applies to everybody. So this checks all the boxes for me, right? Like I said, kids, adults, doesn't matter. It's great. So as far as a worker and working material goes, I think that this completely nails every aspect of being a worker. Who would use this? If you want my honest opinion, I think everybody should use this, right? Like I learn and practice more towards mentalism. I do have quite a bit of experience with magic, but you know, I think that everybody should have this. It's something that people are gonna remember. It's something that people are gonna recognize, and it's very easy to do. And the magical aspect of it is great as well, right? So it's all around very, very good. I guess I never touched on the price. So what's the cost, and is it worth your money? So this is $20, and you're getting the 7 cards. You're getting a phenomenal routine, and you know, honestly, is it worth the money? I think that this is honestly one of the best releases that I've seen this year, if not, you know, in the last couple years, few years. So $20, that's a no-brainer for me. This is worth the $20. I would have no problem spending another $20. Actually, I can't say that I'm spending another $20. Michael sent this to me. It's a review copy, but there's no bias here, right? I would easily purchase this, and I was actually going to, and that's being completely honest. If these cards were damaged or a card was lost, I would have no problem purchasing this seconds after realizing that I couldn't use it anymore. And if you purchase this, you're also going to get access to the Facebook group where Michael answers any questions directly. He gives you tips. He also does some live workshops. And again, Michael goes above and beyond with all of his releases. Pros and cons, positives and negatives. Okay, I'm just going to give you guys a close-up of the cards just so you can... I know I showed them all, but you know, let's give you a better look at them here. So there's the cards, right? We're all familiar with them. They're Pokemon cards. Pros and cons. Honestly, like, again, no negatives whatsoever. Easy to do, can be performed surrounded, designed to be a worker. Everybody's going to be familiar with this, and even if they're not, amazing magic trick, amazing kicker ending, 2 kind of kicker endings. So yeah, I couldn't give this a negative if I tried. I can't find a single negative thing about this. And you know, with some packet tricks and ESP decks, I know ESP decks have nothing to do with this, but you know, sometimes I will say that I wish that they were plastic and that they weren't cardstock, but that's not the case with this, because these are made to look exactly like we remember Pokemon cards, and like Pokemon cards still are. So yeah, I don't even wish they were plastic, because that would take away the authenticity of it. So I can't recommend this enough. If you're a magician, if you're a mentalist, like this is, even though this doesn't really have anything to do with mentalism, although the ending with the prediction kind of is a form of mentalism, I still think this is great because you can entertain all ages, any crowd, very easy to do. So I think everybody should have this. Honestly, I think everybody should own this. It's if you perform for people, like, that's it. So with that, I don't think there's much more I can say about PokéMonte except for pick this up. It's extremely strong, very easy to do. You can carry it with you everywhere, and you're going to get reactions. People are going to love this for nostalgia factor and just because people are familiar with it, right? So with that, that's all I got, and we'll see you at the next review.